I think it's on the table, but not that one. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, you're good. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Here,
Chris loves it. Right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
You love it.
He missed me. Okay, my chart.
My chart. Leo moon, Leo rising.
Fortunately,
$5.
all my medical forms come up.
When we look for your astrological
Oh,
chart?
no, I found it. Here's your birth chart, bitch.
Is that what someone said to you?
Yeah, my friend Caitlin made it for me when she was really into astrology. Okay. Do you know how to read this?
Let me see. Fist, be a fist apart from the mic. What the fuck is happening here? Okay, your sun's in Cap. Your moon is in Leo. Yep, I knew it. Leo moon and a Leo rising. That's why the hair is the hair.
Real? Oh, because lions?
Yeah, yes, the lion's
That's
mane.
boring.
No, it's not boring.
Should I
All
cross the legs?
I liked how you had it before. Yeah, we were like lounging together. Like, should we take our shoes off and just like
this one, right?
Is this
I don't
cute,
wanna-
Stefan? I think this is cute.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Whoa.
throw your belongings.
Whoa, you threw the Wayfair pillow.
Michelle, bring that mic closer.
Fist apart, sister.
There you go.
Fist apart.
Okay, I was here first. Okay, I know it's a fist
No,
apart.
I'm telling this other producer, no shots to Chris, but this other said fist apart.
Is this good?
It was not even a producer. It was
Look
a
at-
video editor.
Video
Is this
editor.
good?
You know why I've never said that to you? Because I just do it.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, we get what we pay for, don't we?
That's right.
Whoa, the
That's right.
Taurus comes through.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I feel like we should keep all of that intro in there and just add like a pre-recorded welcome to another episode of Juice is the New Tea.
Hi.
Hi, my love.
Hi, babe. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, of course. I want to give you like your proper intro. She is a mother. She is a friend, a soul sister friend.
It's true.
And she is the host of the hit podcast show, Taking It Personally.
It sure is in my head.
Miss Michelle Yampolsky Gomez, sister.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're
I'm
so
so
welcome.
excited to be on Juice is the New Tea.
Oh, I love that.
I remember when we were manifesting this idea
Mhm.
one summer day in your car. We
Yes.
had just checked out another juice shop and
Mhm.
we were inspecting
We were doing
all
some
the
market research.
We were doing market research.
Yes.
It was
Eye-opening.
truly
To say the least.
inspiring and, really got our juices flowing, if you will.
Yes.
And then we sat in your car and kicked off the process, and here we
Mhm.
are. So I'm so happy
Here
to be
we
here.
are. I
And
love
it's so
you.
fun to be on the other side of the mic here
Yeah.
at Fringe.
Yeah. Well, I was a guest on your show a handful of times.
Yes.
And then when I told you that I was conceptualizing Juice is the New Tea, I'm like, sister, I got to have you on.
Yes.
And I think what we're going to talk about today is going to be kind of interesting to some people
Mhm.
because most of our, if not all of our dynamic or our chemistry, which I love the versatility of our sisterhood, is
Mhm.
playful, it's fun. I'm laughing all the time when I'm with you.
Mhm.
And you have, yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
More, right?
I'm just a good time.
Yes,
I'm a
you
good
are.
time girl.
Yes, you are a good time. Salt Lake City?
hmm
Yeah, okay. I was really surprised reconnecting with you over the last few years
Yeah.
and seeing your evolution, wifey, mama, and then you're like, boom, guys, I'm doing fucking stand up. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, let's go. Makes sense.
hmm
And then reconnecting with you in that process, coming on to Taking It Personally, finding out that you had gone through quite the journey of postpartum depression
hmm
after you gave birth to your daughter.
Yeah.
So I knew that I never really even got a chance to speak more like one-on-one personally with you about it. So that was definitely a topic I wanted to touch on because while making this show a reality, part of it was, yes, having conversations with wellness practitioners, people, thought leaders and entrepreneurs, but I wanted to have real conversations with people that are going through and have gone through real shit.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
also like you being such a strong powerhouse goddess that you are,
Keep going.
knowing that you went through something like this and like seeing just where you are now as a mom and doing all of the things and balancing all of the things that you are, I'm like, all right, I feel like let's, I want to
Let's get
learn more
into
about
it.
it. Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
But before that, we went to college together.
We did.
We ran the streets of Financial District together.
They were never the same after
Never
that.
the same. South
They're
Street
truly
Seaport.
not the same.
Hook and ladder.
Hook and ladder, manhunt
Yeah.
at this old seaport when it was still like a red barn.
Yeah.
Hook and ladder.
Blarney Stone.
Whatever Irish pub would open up their doors after hours to a
Yes.
bunch of belligerent
Yes.
18-year-olds.
Yes.
That's where we were.
That's where we were.
Whatever
That's how we met.
basement allowed us to quote unquote throw a party, that's what we did.
Pre-clean eating chick.
Dates way back before clean eating chick
Yeah.
because we were not clean eating.
No, we were not clean eating.
We were smoking Marlboro Reds.
We were smoking Marlboro Reds, and we were like eating Charlie's bagels and
you were
cheeseburgers at 3 a.m.
a lot of Jack Daniels.
A lot of Jack Daniels.
Our frontal lobes were developing in such a way that we were in a total hoe era.
Oh, no. What?
Never.
Never.
But, I mean, the dynamics of where we went to school was super interesting, too, because a lot of people go away to college. They're at a campus. They're in a large dorm. Where we went to school is particularly unique if you choose to go through freshman year there because it's a tiny building of a freshman dorm that is then attached to the college campus itself.
Yeah.
Right at the foot of the Brooklyn Bridge. And the rooms are super tiny. It's just such a small enclosed space to pile that many people in. So you really get pushed to the limits of meeting new people, exploring new things. You are on top of each other.
Yeah, because that building was all freshmen, which is a unique experience too, because you're just all with one another, like you said, forced to just meet and connect.
Right.
You were on the 8th floor.
I was on the 8th floor.
And you were like, I was on the 16th.
Correct.
But you were like what's the phrase I'm looking for? Like an honorary 16th floor member. Yeah, you just ran shit.
I bounced between floors. Like I said, frontal lobes were developing.
Yeah.
I was so excited to be out of suburbia. And I remember the very first day that I moved into the dorm, I made it my mission to go floor by floor and say hello to whoever crossed my path.
Yeah.
Would my social battery withstand that now? Not for a fucking second. I do not want another friend. But at the time, I was like I want to
self-awareness.
Yeah, I just really was so excited to meet as many people as I could.
Yeah.
Every floor had its own vibe. I like to bounce between all of them. We just had a great time.
Yeah,
and
we did.
I was so lucky to have met you in there.
Same.
Honestly.
And I also love that, like, I mean, how many years ago is that?
We have to put this on air.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. But like it's just crazy. And I'm honestly just so like blessed and grateful to have like gone through many lifetimes since we met when we were 18 to now what we're doing and where we're at.
Yeah, totally. I feel really fortunate that our paths crossed the way they did. And in all honesty, you have always brought out the best in me. I mean, back then, best is a stretch because it was definitely unhealthy what we were doing. Not like in a mental way. We were just reckless with our bodies.
Yeah, we were like
partying hard.
We were running around the financial district like doing our thing.
Yeah, I know. But now, as we've evolved, as we matured, since you got back from living in LA, I've always been local to the area. But since you got back especially, we've both gone through a lot of things. We've been there for each other. You've always pushed me to my limit and then some, which is what really got me here, which is what really got me to kick off the podcast. Anytime I've ever come to you and been like, oh, I have this idea for X, Y, and Z, and this has been for maybe 2 decades at this point, you've been like, okay, well, why haven't you done it yet? And in the last couple of years, your voice has always echoed in my head. So I really give you so much credit. And not only that, once I have done the things that I said I was going to do, that you've always been a supporter of, you show the fuck up. You show up for the people that you care about, who you want to be there for. You are always pushing people to be their best. And I'm so grateful for you.
I love that.
It's true.
Thank you.
We went to dinner a few weeks ago and we just had like the best time just talking shit.
Yeah.
And when I got home, I was like, Matt, I literally had a great time. Like, I don't even want to hang out with you. And then when I had you on one of my early podcast episodes, I remember my mom saying like, wow, your chemistry with Eleni is unbelievable. And a lot of people were just like, you guys sound better than a married couple.
Well, we just bounce off of each other really well.
Right.
You're a Capricorn.
Oh,
You're a
here we go.
Capricorn sun. I thrive around
in
Capricorn.
my sunlight.
I love Capricorn energy.
My sunlight doesn't give you a burn.
No, not at all. I live for it.
Right.
I love seeing anyone fully self-express. Like it lights me up.
Self-express.
Yes, you are very self-expressed. You're kidding me? You own it. People need to own themselves more.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what does my sign mean to you?
So, well, you're a Capricorn.
Right.
So Capricorn's very organized. You're the GOAT, AKA the greatest of all time.
Correct.
Okay. And you're just very structured. You're organized. You have a very grounded approach to how you like things to be done.
Yeah.
Whether that's your goals, your friendships, you're just organized. You rarely, which maybe internally you don't feel like this or whatever the case is, but rarely I feel like Capricorns, they just seem like they have it together. And they really inspire the people around them to maintain that energy.
Yeah.
Pair that in with your Leo moon and your Leo rising, the lion.
Is it bad to have two Leos in one?
No, I feel like that's like you're energetically charged and turned all the way up.
Always.
Yeah. With the lion's mane, the hair, the miche hair.
Yeah.
The infamous miche bun during college.
It's still it
still makes a cameo every now and again.
It does.
Yeah. But now we're like fully thriving in our blowout era.
Yeah, I do love a mean blowout. Unfortunately, when I hire someone to blow my hair out, it's raining on the day of. So, but
today too, did you hire somebody to do your?
No, this is from Saturday.
Oh, wow! It kept very well, sister.
I've been sleeping in a silk bonnet.
Oh, okay.
Ask me how my sex life is.
How's your sex life? So going back to your Leo moon and your Leo rising, Leos are ruled by the sun.
Okay.
So with that, there's like this kind of, I don't want to say, I don't know, this little ideology about Leos that they feel like the earth revolves around them because in essence it does.
Right.
Okay. So they're always like,
she acts like this is like groundbreaking information.
No,
like,
but I'm just giving the viewers a chance to understand a little bit more about the presence that is Michelle Yampolsky Gomez, a fist. Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. So it's a no-brainer to me that you're doing stand-up. Now you have your podcast called Taking It Personally, and I want to get into all of that.
Let's do it.
So first, kind of just backtracking a little bit, we touched on postpartum.
Yeah.
So I feel like I want to just address that a little bit because I feel like that led to the creative outlet where you're at now. Mm-hmm. So first thing first, can you take us back to the first moment that you realized that you might be experiencing what is known as postpartum depression?
Yes. The first moment that I realized that something was not the same as it was about 2 days after I had gotten home from the hospital from giving birth, and I was taking my daughter to her first doctor's appointment. You know, you're doing a lot of check-ins at that point. And I drove to said doctor's appointment here in the city. I parked the car, went in, and when I exited the doctor's office, there was a man standing next to my car. And he was on his electric scooter, like the tool that he is. And I just remember he was too close to my car. And I went up to him rather strongly. I don't want to say aggressively, but I really didn't have any patience. I was just like, move, please. This is my car. I'm packing my stuff up. And he looked at me and responded in a really snarky way. Like, oh, this is your street? Like, you can't say, excuse me? Or like something like that. And I saw red. I actually don't even remember much of what happened at that point, but I almost charged him.
Which is very out of characteristic for you. You'll be sassy back to somebody.
Correct. Yeah. I will definitely give attitude.
Yeah, you're quick with it.
But the way I saw red and the way I felt my body physically react was jarring. Because when I came to, I was back in the car, my husband was driving, and I was sobbing. So it was like this roller coaster of emotions. Yeah. And my husband's looking at me. He's asking me to just breathe through it. He's reminding me that I had just dealt with postpartum preeclampsia, which is when you have high blood pressure before or during birth, and I couldn't remember what happened, and that was scary to me. A few more instances of this rage happened throughout the coming months, but I went to my own annual checkup with my primary care doctor just to get my, everything, blood work done and do my annual check,
just
right?
to check in. You just like birthed a human,
And I had described to him some of these instances of rage that I would feel. And he dismissed me. He had said to me, like, that's not baby blues. That's not postpartum. It was that misdiagnosis that led me to more suffering. And the rage eventually evolved into sadness. A lot of weeping, a lot of, I would just simply be holding my daughter and I would think about what a hungry child somewhere in the world was doing and just start weeping.
Just having these random thoughts, like these intrusive thoughts that was never, you've never experienced anything like that.
Never experienced that. I've had rounds of anxiety. I definitely have had rounds of depression. I think a lot of people did when the pandemic hit.
Because this was during what time?
So the year was 2022 into 2023.
Post-COVID.
So we're in a post-COVID world at this point. Things are kind of,
so it's not like
is resuming.
Yeah. So it wasn't like, because I know a lot of my friends that gave birth around that time, 2020, they felt incredibly isolated.
Yes.
And then even were concerned about socializing their child and the impact that experience was going to have on like staying inside, feeling concerned, all of those things.
Right.
That like in terms of the development of just like you're new into motherhood, needing community, and also like your child.
Right.
Okay, so it was after that.
It was after that. The world was kind of getting back to normal. It wasn't 100% yet. The rage morphed into the weeping. The weeping morphed into depression. Around my daughter's first birthday, I started having these thoughts every morning when I woke up. I don't want to get out of bed. I can't do this today. How am I supposed to get through the day? How am I supposed to take care of a human today? How quickly can I get back into bed?
Were you honest with anybody, or like were you telling anyone how you were feeling at this time?
Not yet.
Okay.
I was struggling with it. I was struggling with my feelings because I had support. I had the resources. I had my parents who were incredible through the process. I had my mother-in-law who was super helpful. An incredible nanny who's still part of my family to this day.
Yes.
My husband was doing the best that he could. Just I could go on and on, right?
Yeah, because I think, but that's important to touch on though, because something that I read that I thought of you, knowing that we were going to have this conversation, was the almost like the spiritual meaning behind postpartum, or just like a possibility of why some women go through postpartum, is that they lack like not preparedness, but just like the community, the village, like that phrase, it takes a village. I think a lot of people now, we're in a hyper independent world. I think a lot of women having babies on their own and all these things that lead to these possibilities. Yeah. That's usually a common answer that I hear. It's like, well, you don't have community, or you weren't prepared, or but you have, your family's very present.
My family's very present. My parents are extremely present.
Yeah, and helpful and willing.
And willing and helpful, and I'm so grateful for that, because the truth is, it does take a village. Yeah. And even in the littlest ways that we wouldn't even think of. In the village, back in God knows when, the grandmother did step in just to rock the baby for 5 minutes. Yeah. And someone else did take over the laundry or whatever it is, right? Yeah. Point being, I had those resources and something still wasn't clicking. It was, about a year into having my daughter that I got myself back into therapy. And I had an unbelievable therapist that I still work with frequently to this day. I see her weekly. She truly played such a big role in saving me because the path I was going down was so dark. And I felt it getting darker and darker. The room was, my apartment was getting smaller and smaller on me. And yet the guilt still remained because my daughter is a beautiful, healthy. Oh my God, my stomach is rumbling.
Such a bright.
My daughter is such a bright light.
Have a healing, a little celery juice. I made it for you.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much.
Love
Cheers.
Oh, fucking knocked it out. I know the microphone. My
Hold
goodness.
on a second.
My rumor around the campfire is you're going to do a 21-day celery juice program. I heard you are. You and Matt. You and your husband.
I guess.
Yes.
It's hard. This
Do
is
it.
hard.
It's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy every second of it.
No, it's fresh, actually.
I just made it.
Thank you.
You're
It tastes
welcome.
like it. Tastes like you just pulled that out of the backyard. Delicious.
I grew it in my yard.
All right, back to my sob story, please. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, amazing.
Love that.
I was lucky enough to meet with an incredible therapist. She is the one who actually pushed me to speak with a psychiatrist as well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the difference being a psychiatrist can prescribe medication. A therapist is more about the verbal sessions, working through things. I made a decision then to try sertraline, which is Zoloft, because if I decide to have another child, you can stay on that medication on a low dose. And it took about 2 months to level out, but it truly changed the game for me. The combination of both of them. I think for me, my biggest lesson coming out of it, your brain is a muscle. You have to work that muscle. You have to take care of that muscle.
Yes.
If you have something like postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, you deserve to take care of yourself, your brain. You can do the spa days all you want. You can take 10 minutes here and there to read a book. You have to really take an internal look. Another diagnosis that I have is PMDD.
Okay, what's that?
Perimenstrual dysmorphic disorder.
Okay.
I'm going to confirm.
Yeah. We'll
been
circle back on that.
Honestly, it's been a while now that I've
PMDD.
just been like
I've never even heard of that. Okay.
Yeah. So PMDD is a disorder where basically your hormones are off balance and not leveling out, and your body is having a troublesome response to the intense hormone roller coaster that we as women go on every single month. Right. We talk a lot about our phases, where we are in our cycle. You're having an increase of this, a decrease of
energy
that.
Right. And it sends you on a major roller coaster ride of emotion, energy levels, perspective, all of that. And I can imagine that's incredibly amplified after you just grew a human, birthed a human, and then caring for this human while also figuring out how to deal with yourself. And the new you. And mourning your previous life as like a single, independent, I could pick up and go whenever I want kind of thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's such a good point too. Physically, your body has shifted. Your body has changed. You are adjusting to this new change. Additionally, your uterus is larger because you just gave birth. So you have an increase of hormones there. You have an increase of blood flow that your body is managing and dealing with. So that's already changed. And then, just like you said, you are mourning the loss of who you used to be.
Yeah.
But that was never my biggest point of contention. It still never is. I still will say openly, I used to be able to do that. I used to be able to do this, you know, but that's never something that I regret. That's never something that I miss.
Right. Oh, beautiful. You're in your Capricorn energy right now, sister. I want to say how has your relationship with your own vulnerability and like becoming aware of what was happening and making peace with it and sharing with people? Because again, my experience with you is, I'm sure most of the people that know you, that work with you, it's like you're a bright light, you're always laughing, you're always providing the comedy and the humor around any situation. And I'm sure that this was such a drastic on the other side of the spectrum for you.
Yeah.
So how has this softened you and made you stronger in like your relationship with your vulnerability of being like, hey, I'm actually not okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to hide this through my humor or making light of this situation. Like there's something very real going on here.
Right. That's also a great question. You know, I've always been the group comedian, the class clown.
Totally.
Someone who, my response to an awkward situation is to crack a joke. I am not good at facing a silence. I will always be someone who tries to fill in a silent gap, good or bad. You know, that's not always a great quality to have. And by acknowledging that I knew something was not right with me, that was a decision that I made for my daughter. Because all I could think about as I struggled with getting out of bed, as I laid in the dark as much as possible. You know, at this point in time, I'm barely working. I barely have the energy to get on my laptop and fulfill my work obligations. I'm trying to nap as much as possible. But in those moments when sunlight did creep in, when I did go on an upswing, all I could think to myself was, I have to put an end to this for my daughter. I have to be vulnerable about this for my daughter. I have to make it better for her. Because
I think that's motherhood right there.
Yeah,
man.
I don't want her to go through this.
Yeah.
I don't want her to know that I don't want her to feel any of this. And that was what pulled me out of bed. It's weird because it's the same fucking reason that got me into bed. But at the same time, if I didn't have her, this would have just blossomed differently. And I probably wouldn't have had that motivation.
I'm happy that you said that, because I feel like when there is something dormant lying within us, and it could manifest as postpartum depression, or it can manifest in a different type of depression with or without the child present, I think it's so important that you just said that, to like become present to these things, these thoughts, these feelings that you're having in your body, and finding the strength to be vulnerable and be like, hey, something's going on here. I need to, you know what I mean, do a little bit of inventory on myself, my emotions, share with someone, share with my husband, whoever it is, and lean on that. And you know, so I love that you just said that. I think that was beautiful.
I think regardless, I would have had to become vulnerable enough to face this one way or the other.
Yeah.
It's just that my daughter gave me the strength to face it.
Beautiful.
And she inspired me to be open about it. Because as I started talking to professionals, seeking help, there is nothing available online. Like I mentioned earlier, I had a doctor dismiss me.
Right. And that happens all too often.
And it happens too often. And had I just listened to that, who knows where I would be today.
Well, I'm glad that you trusted yourself and advocated for yourself.
Yeah.
Being like, I always tell people to take this how this resonates, but like, be your own best doctor.
Yeah.
You knew that when you saw that man on the scooter, you saw red, that was not normal for you.
Yeah, that was
Some people would like brush that off or have acted out, you know, in a different way towards that person. So I'm proud of you.
And speaking of lion, when it originally happened, I thought I was just being Mama Lioness. You know, I have this newborn and now I just protect her and blah, blah, blah. You know, and you are that person when you become a parent or when you're defending something you love. And anyone can do that. But that reaction in itself, the physical reaction, the way it presented itself in my shoulders. It
manifested in your body. Yeah,
correct.
For sure.
Like all of it, that looking back was not me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you noticed that. So you dealt with that for how long? Like how the postpartum depression, like how long were you in that? And then so you were able to level yourself out, and then you transmuted that experience, right? Because part of a lot of me and my work and what I've done is taking something that was like a painful experience, right? Something that would allow for other people to just completely break.
Yeah.
And you turn it into your passion, your purpose, you build on it.
Yeah.
You make it a superpower, right? So would you say that now the new kind of route of you and stand up and taking it personally and building your podcast show, was that creativity also, did that manifest from going through the experience that you went through?
Yeah, definitely. I think to answer your first question, I navigated this postpartum reality of mine, PMDD, for about a year. And during summer, it was a bit more manageable because you don't have the added seasonal depression aspect. But it really peaked for me in the fall because I knew that winter was coming, darkness was creeping in, cold weather was coming in, all of the above. I've always had seasonal. Everyone always gets a little affected by it, right?
It's brutal sometimes here in New York.
Yeah. So as I started working through it in therapy, feeling better or prioritizing feeling better, then I was able to take a look at my life and be like, okay, I'm raising a family. I have a lovely marriage. I have a job. What else am I doing? Like, what am I, when my daughter grows up, What am I going to tell her? Oh, mommy battled depression and now she's fine. Let's eat, an ice cream cone. Like,
you wanted bigger meaning for your life.
Correct. I literally was like, oh shit. Like, I need to be a little bit more than this, because I'm also someone, I grew up with working parents. Both of my parents have built incredible careers for themselves in finance. My mother especially loves to work. And for her redeeming qualities come out through that, right? She is diligent and hardworking, and her attention to detail is unbelievable. And
what sign is she?
Her birthday's the end of March.
Is she an Aries?
Maybe.
March, okay.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I should find out.
It's like my sister. They're just...
It's just...
Yeah, an energy.
It's not that... Yeah, working brings out the best in her, but that is not me, right? So then I was like, all right, I either need to shit or get off the pot. What am I going to do? That's something that I always said I was going to do for so many years. Let's do stand-up comedy.
Wild.
Yeah.
How was... Okay, so now transitioning into this part of your life.
Yes.
Didn't you take a class first?
I did take a class first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I decided to take a class after a few months of intensive therapy. Yeah. I'm talking 2 times a week.
You're just like, I want to get out there. I want to like...
Yeah. I was like, I need to break up the routine of the week and push myself to go outside that isn't packing up a stroller or packing up my work bag. So I enrolled in a class that met once a week. And I did that for about 2 months. I was the second oldest in the class.
Oh, okay.
So that offered fun perspective.
Right.
But it felt so fucking good.
Yeah, that is like powerful that you did that. I love that.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was honestly so amazing to walk into class, put my phone on Do Not Disturb, write on a piece of paper, not typing away, not doom scrolling, and then to get homework assignments, right? So then I'm working through it. I'm laughing. I'm taking it on the chin if I do get bad feedback. Like, it was so creatively fulfilling. My brain was working in a way that I wasn't only thinking about paying bills, how much I weighed, or how sad I was.
Well, going back to your point about like the brain being a muscle and you got to exercise it, you were then tapping into this creativity and also making something happen that you've wanted to make happen for a real long time. That in and of itself is like you're walking in there like, I'm doing this. Like whatever the outcome is,
I'm doing it.
I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to fill up my cup.
Yes.
And then your daughter and your husband benefit from that, from you taking that time. And it's just like an outlet for you.
Yeah. I mean, to say that my daughter and husband benefited from that is a reach because the routine was out the window the nights that I was gone.
Okay.
She's eating ice cream like 4 different times.
Okay.
And probably skipping a bath. But you know what? They got to bond.
Yeah.
And that's all that mattered.
That's it. Okay. I love that. And now, so doing stand-up, how many years has it been?
We're going on almost 2.
Okay. How did it feel the first time you got up on stage and you were like, this is my moment?
So the first time I got up on stage, it was part of the class that I had taken. It was like our final presentation, so to speak. And I was so nervous. But I also want to add, I told no one I was taking this class.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You kept it under wraps.
Yes, I kept it under wraps because I just didn't want to hear anything that was going to throw me off.
Good. Tunnel vision. You knew what you wanted to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I knew that most people would be supportive, but I take things personally.
No shit.
And one misstep, one wrong comment, and I would have been ruminating on it.
Okay, but at least you know that about yourself. And you're like, you put the proper boundaries in place. I'm not going to tell nobody. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it happen.
Correct.
Great.
I do know that about myself. Also through this process that I've been through, I am a highly sensitive person. I am very in tune with people's feelings and emotions, and I take things to heart. Unfortunately, I try not to.
That's your Leo moon and your Leo rising.
Yeah, I try my best, but it just is what it is. And as a result, I took the class and I did not tell anyone that I did it. We had our final presentation. I was so nervous.
Really?
I invited a couple of people to come. Like, we each had a couple tickets to give out, and I was so scared. And then I go on stage and I went clear. The total opposite of seeing red when I first got home from the hospital. I went so clear. I knew my act. I nailed it.
Yes.
I felt the vibe coming off of the audience. I was engaging. And before I knew it, it was over.
Yeah.
And the rush that came as a result of it, the adrenaline rush, I was like, well, shit. How the fuck am I going to keep a fucking solid amount of that in me? I guess I see why people get into bigger trouble.
I get it. Yeah. You wanted to keep that. You were like chasing almost like this high of like
euphoric.
This experience. Totally. Yeah, because you're also like, you're living out a dream. That experience alone. You're receiving the accolades. You're great at it. You walk up there. You have so much confidence, and you just like command the presence and the energy of the room.
Thank you.
Your delivery, your tone, always like you're just so quick with it. It's like something I admire so much about you. Like I feel like my brain doesn't work that fast. Like if someone says something, I'm kind of like,
I don't know about that. I think you're pretty sassy.
Well, yeah, I'm sassy for sure, but I feel like you can sometimes just like bring it out, and I'm like, sister. Ooh.
Oh my God, thank you.
No,
thank you. I do fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
There's something really empowering about being scared shitless, but pretending you know what you're doing and getting on stage. And especially when you're well rehearsed, the art of the preparation,
for sure,
the hitting up the open mics, the writing and the rewriting and the taking feedback. That's also been a really good practice for me, by the way, learning how to take the feedback, the constructive criticism. You know, I've gone to open mics where I've bombed. I will get up there and I will say what I thought was so great, and it's crickets in the room. And in my head, I'm like, these fucking Brooklyn hipsters.
So you take that personally. That was one of my questions. You take it
I do.
personally when people don't laugh at your jokes.
It's a good question, and it's good practice for me, because what can I really do? You know,
right?
You get on stage, you do your best. If people aren't laughing at you, like, what are you gonna do? I bombed once at a open mic, and I was taking it so personal while I was on the stage. I was standing there with the microphone.
That's hard.
Yeah, I'm looking at people and I'm like, you laughed at the guy before me who literally joked about having hairy balls, and like, you won't laugh at this? Like, it was just so ridiculous.
But at least you call it out. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like you just put it out there.
But see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That was something I learned, right? Like, you can't bully someone into laughing at you. You can't fight your way into someone laughing at you. You cannot take their feelings personally. You hold your chin up, you smile big, you finish your set, you get the fuck off stage, you move on.
Amen. I love that.
Yeah.
So then transitioning from stand-up and doing that, then introducing taking it personally into the world. Tell me a little bit how you made that happen. What was the thought process? Were you nervous, I'm sure, or just like what was the creative process behind making that happen?
So I do love stand-up, and I perform with a really great group, and we have a lot of fun doing it. But I was facing a lot of time constraints, given that I do work full-time and I am a parent, and it wasn't going as consistent. It wasn't as consistent as I was hoping it would be, for all practical, realistic reasons. You're juggling the schedules of 5 people, my own schedule, things happen. And I did always want to start a podcast. Unfortunately, I'm chronically online. And so I am absorbing the memes and the posts where people are like, everyone has a microphone now. Everyone has a podcast. So I did have those voices in my head initially. A little bit, right? But then as I'm going through stand-up, I'm like, I like making people laugh. I like talking to people. I like the act of hosting my show.
Yes.
So what can I do? And around a year ago, I was home. I had just been pushed to the limit, and I Googled closest podcast studio to me. I did.
Yeah.
Booked it.
Yeah.
Putzed on over, and I just started running with it. And the thing is the joy of not giving a fuck, and the joy of not having expectations, and the joy of it being my project.
Totally.
If I don't feel good about something and I want to rework it and put it out a week later, I can do that.
Yeah.
If I want to edit or remove a clip, I can do that. If I want to post something, I can do that. If I want to invite literally like a piece of toilet paper to come on with me and interview it, like, I can do it. And it's just been super liberating in that way. Now, a lot of people who do listen to the podcast, or who I talk to about the podcast, some people love to offer unsolicited advice. They're like, oh, well, you could just set up a studio at home. Like, why do you have to, how much do you pay? Oh my God.
All of that. Projections.
And I'm like, listen, first of all, I live in an apartment in New York City. Okay. Second of all, there's 2 other humans in that apartment. I'd like to get out of my space a little bit. It's a little bit, it's a nice breakup to working from home and living from home and producing from home and writing from home.
Creating the separation of the environments, I also feel like is so important. Like
Absolutely.
Everything is happening in our homes. And then it's like we wonder why we're overstimulated.
Absolutely.
Got to get out.
You got to get out and it forces you to look at things differently. And again, part of me building out a little bit of the podcast platform was I get to see what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I get to do test runs on the type of comedy. I get to talk about whatever I'm feeling that day. I get to put it out when I want, why I want, who I want, all of the above. And that is freeing.
You said something to me the other day when we had filmed your episode with Phil Bassis of Reason Clothing. That was such a fun episode. Great if you haven't watched it, you should totally check it out. You said something that...
Yeah, you have to check it out because that's the pre-tariff world that we live in. And now I need to follow up with him to learn about how things are going.
The tariffs, honey.
We're beefing
with China.
Madonna
mia. Yeah, things are about to get real. You said something on that episode that I loved that I feel like I've referred back to in my mind several times since.
Tell me.
Honey.
Quote me.
That you are working towards creating more and consuming less.
Yes.
Because you're sick of your doom scrolling on TikTok.
Right.
You want to move forward from that. You want to be more accountable. I love that. Like,
I'm so glad you do.
Yeah. Kudos to that.
That is something that my husband and I came up with when we justify working around arrangements to do something for the podcast. Or when we're justifying, okay, we're budgeting out for our daughter's care, but we also need to budget out for taxes and forming the LLC and all of these other things. It is so much better to create, not consume. Also, let's give it up for these fucking TikTok creators. I'm putting out a day in the life video once every 2 days. It is blood, sweat, and tears to edit that shit.
I don't know how they do it. I was thinking about today as I was steaming my pants. I'm like, if I was a TikToker influencer, I would have had the camera like hooked up on the mirror, doing the thing, steaming. And now I'm going to steam and now I'm going to do this. And then I'm like thinking to myself, when would I edit that and like put it out? Like, it's just like you got to do it when you're on the train or this or that. It's way too much of a commitment.
Oh my God, now I'm burping. I'm burping celery.
Good. Your digestive system is working. Cheers. Enjoy. Give me another cheers.
Cheers. Health, wealth, sex, and stocks.
Health, wealth, happiness, sex, and stocks. For the homies that are no longer with us, God bless.
You remix it every time.
Yeah, because you always got to change it up. Come on now.
You literally catch me off guard every time. Anyway.
That's what I'm here for.
It is wild, the editing, but it does get easier, and you do get more comfortable in front of a camera as you do it.
I think, go ahead.
Can I share something I take personally about the podcasting thing, though?
Of course.
I think I said this to Chris.
Get right into it, because this was going to be the next thing.
Oh, perfect.
Chris.
I think I said this to him once, to like a long time ago. He was like, how's it going? I'm like, it's good, but all of a sudden I started this, right? I have like 100 followers. I'm barely slicing and dicing an episode to put onto Spotify. I'm literally like flying by the seat of my pants, and Apple Podcast makes me want to kill myself. But all of a sudden, all these people emerge from the shadows, and they're like, "Do you need a guest?
Yes.
Do you want me to come on?
Yes.
Do you want me to come on?" I'm like, "Have you listened to an episode?
Yeah.
Have you listened to an episode? Have you given me my flowers? You are just mooching off of the fact that I had the balls to start something."
Preach.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, but it is so fucking annoying to me when people do that, because if it's different if someone is like a friend who is a supporter, they stream it, they click like, they engage. Like, I will do anything. I have really incredible people who engage with this stuff, but the people who just let me know if you need a guest.
Yeah.
Maybe I do.
Yes, I feel that.
And also,
agree.
like, I don't fucking know you. Like, are you even going to be good on my podcast?
Like, what are we going to talk about?
What are we going to talk about? You literally slid into my
DMs. Literally.
You literally slid into my DMs. And I'm like, I didn't even get a mazel tov after I pushed out a baby.
Right.
Where were you when I got married?
I'm like, is it wrong of me to be like, what are we going to talk about?
I don't even get a fucking ha-ha when I post something funny on my Instagram story, and now you're like, let me know if you need a guest. What?
Yeah, no, I get that. No, I feel that. I know. I understand. I mean, I kind of have, like, I do give credit, though, like, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You gotta, like, ask for it.
Go fucking chew on someone else's hands. Like, I don't want to hear it. It's different if we are, like, engaging frequently or, like, you're a supporter.
Course,
you know what I mean? Obviously. But, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
Disgusting.
So we're creating more, consuming less. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that little mantra that has been in my head for the last 2 weeks.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. Okay, I want to get into like just really thinking about people in my DMs that have asked to come on.
And I mean, I won't say names, but there was an incident that involved you.
What? What do you mean?
Well, don't pull my leg. He's really forcing me. When I first started and you came on, I got a text. You can edit this out if you need. I get a text from you, and you're like, "Oh, my friend is interested in coming on your show."
Oh, were you talking about recently?
No, it was like when we first started, and you had come on one of the early episodes. You texted me. You said, "I have a friend. She has an amazing story. She wants to come on the show." And I was like, "I don't want to like be awkward. I
think I might know who you're talking about. Was it like the serious story?
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to.
No, I know. I put that out there and I knew that it's like maybe not the.
I know, but I also like don't want to, it's you, right? Like I don't want to like say no to you. Like I'm still a people pleaser at heart.
No, people pleasing is out the window. Okay, it's 2025.
Okay, but it's you. So like obviously I don't want to make
like, Eleni, thank you, but no thank you.
No. Let's not phrase it that way. I was like, okay, like put her in touch. And this woman texts me and it is drier than a piece of turkey. Like this text that I get, she's like, "Hey, I want to come on your show. I have a story to tell." Not a single, and I'm like, why am I gonna pull this out of? Why is it like pulling teeth?
No,
speak, Eleni.
Speak. Okay. What's your toxic trait when you take something personally? Do you A, ghost, B, write a passive aggressive text and never send it? C, vent it all out in the notes app. D, talk it out like an adult. We have an E. E, talk about it during your podcast or one of your stand-ups.
Ooh, great question.
Thanks.
I personally, I feel like you're a ghoster.
Chris, we're calling Chris into it.
Little deflection I sense going on here.
I don't know. All of a sudden, I see you
Chris,
like
I
squirming.
feel like you're a ghoster too, a little bit. I feel like
you're a ghoster.
I feel like you'll ghost.
Because you're definitely the type to like ghost and then be like, "Sorry, I'm working."
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But that's also somewhat true.
It's also true, but like you can answer a text. I ghost.
You ghost?
Sorry,
you ghost?
I am deflecting.
It's because you're working so hard, right?
So hard.
I don't think you ghost.
I'm a combination.
I think you.
Okay, why don't we eliminate? Right? Like process of elimination. I'm not writing it out in my notes app.
Okay. I do that. I need to like jot down my thoughts. All right. So you don't go to the notes app. Okay.
No. What were can you
make me go back to my notes. Write a passive aggressive text and never send it. Vent it out in your notes app. Okay, that's a no.
Write a passive.
Do we talk it out like adults? Or do we just save it for the pod or a stand-up?
Okay, what happens if, like...
Give me another scenario.
None of these are true.
Okay.
Because I have written out a passive-aggressive text and I send. Mm-hmm. And I ghost. Like, I will cut off access.
Yeah.
You know
boundaries,
that about me.
Yeah.
Like, I will cut...
You'll be like, nope.
That's especially recent as I work through the people pleasing part. I will put up a boundary and I will cut off access if you wrong me. I will send out a passive aggressive text. I'm trying to work through that with breathing exercises. No promises.
Okay.
But I have definitely been known to spitfire a little bit over text. It's probably like my toxic trait.
Okay.
And talking it out like adults. I wouldn't necessarily say talking it out like adults.
But eventually, would you like? No?
I think eventually it'll get there. Depends on my relationship with the person.
Okay.
Again, depending on my relationship with the person, if it's a personal matter, I mean, I will say it.
Yeah. No, I think it's important. Like communicate, get it out.
Sometimes things need to be put out there, and but I do prefer a ghost situation for myself, but I don't like to be ghosted.
All right. So
rules
you would take
for me, but not for thee.
Okay. Rules for thee, not for. Okay.
Thank
so
God I'm
you
not
would
dating.
take it personally if you were ghosted. Okay. Would you take it personally if someone were to reply to a text message with just simply K?
Absolutely.
Same.
Don't fucking do that.
Same. I can't stand that.
Don't answer then.
I dated a guy who would respond with K, and I'm like, that's not attractive. Like, it's enough.
When my husband
K
responds with a K,
no problems.
I'm literally like, I will change the fucking lock on you.
KK is a no. If a man is responding KK to a text, we have bigger problems.
I don't think I've gotten a KK, but like if I notice my husband is getting short on me over text, I'm like, you better fucking get a grip.
The lioness is coming out.
No, I'm like, if you are talking to the mother of your child that way, I will change this lock and key so fast. You will sleep in the emergency exit stairwell.
Michelle.
It's gotten better though because my rage has decreased.
Great.
But like,
thank God for all of us.
No, really, it can. Yeah, don't K. What are you like? We're like thumbs up is fine. That's
a thumbs up is fine. Yeah, like that's like
you took the time to write K period.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take the time to tell you.
But I didn't say with a K period. I just said K.
Oh,
do you take it personally then if people write like periods after their texts? Some people do.
Depends on the person. Old people do.
Okay, not old people. If they like send a text and they write a period at the end of it, are you like something's off?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, are we fighting?
Okay.
Are we in a fight?
Do you ask them that? You're like, are we in a fight?
I'll be like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Okay. Are you okay?
I'll be like, I don't know. I guess if I got a text message from you with like a lot of periods, so I'd be like, oh my God, she's mad at me. I did bad on the podcast and like she's mad at me or something. And then I would like.
So I'm actively working towards less emojis in my text because I feel like it's just too fun and flirty.
Millennial.
Yeah. And I'm just like trying to be like more serious over text. So if I start sending periods, I'm not mad at you. It's just I'm trying to like be 34.
I'm personally trying to eliminate the LOL.
Yes.
In my text.
It's important. Like it's not funny. Like you're not laughing.
My previously mentioned the people I do stand up with are younger than me. And you should see the lulls that I'm dropping in the text, and they literally all want to kill me. They just act as if I'm a dinosaur when I say that.
Okay, so no LOLs and no emojis.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Are we taking it personally when your partner eats your leftovers without asking?
Yes.
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 Yeah. Wait, so I once reached for a fry off of an ex-boyfriend's plate and we broke up later that day. And he referenced a fry.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Well, there was like obviously other issues going on.
Which boy? Oh, okay. Well, you guys like broke up a million times.
No, we didn't. We were like a healthy 8-year relationship.
Oh, so healthy that he dumped you over a fry. Like, good one.
No, he was like, you take my fry, you reach over my plate and you don't ask? Yeah, that started like the whole, and then we broke up later that afternoon.
I'm tense. That reminds me of the TikTok drama that went on.
TikTok drama?
The guy from The Bachelor, Matt.
I am so not on this stuff.
Stefan, do you know about this?
Ask all of our audience members.
I'm on a fucking boat on an island by myself.
Yes, you are. No one who watches. What show are you referencing?
Okay.
No.
Okay. There is a man who was on The Bachelor. His first name is Matt. That's how I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was dating someone from his season. Her name was Rachel. She's super cute. And after The Bachelor, he got into making food videos, like food reviews and stuff like that.
Fun.
Which is fun. I know this because I saw him making one at a sushi place once, and I was like, oh my God. And throughout his videos, you would see him mouthing off at his girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
And when she would do stuff, one of the things being that she took a fry and dipped it in a ketchup and then a mayo situation. She mixed the sauces.
Ew. We're creating more, consuming less.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
I don't know how I got on this tangent. It is such a waste of a minute, and I'm ashamed.
It's fine. No, don't be ashamed. We're creating more.
Point being, I would be so annoyed at my husband if he ate my leftovers without asking. Because, like, just ask, and I would share with you.
Yeah.
Share. I can share. Just ask, though. And he's done some dumb shit like that before. He's done it. Like, I I'm the one who was like, wrap up my leftovers, please. I'm going to schlep them home.
Yeah.
Fist.
Fist apart.
Like, just because you're not thoughtful doesn't mean I have to suffer.
Okay, I feel like I know the answer to this next one. I feel like I don't even need to ask it.
I feel like I sound like a mental patient after the last 3 minutes. Like, I feel like I just exposed the depths of my brain of like...
No. Yeah. You're giving us like, if this is a, you know.
No, I just literally went on a spiral of like, this is what I watched on TikTok. Fuck my husband. Love my husband. Don't touch my fries.
Yeah. Same.
Lock me up.
I'm protective over my fries, sister. Okay. Do you take it personally if a friend doesn't watch your podcast episode?
I don't take it personally when a friend doesn't watch my podcast episode. Good. And I think that that's also part of my shift away into doing the podcast and doing less of stand-up, because at the end of the day, I can't only do stand-up shows to an audience of people that I know and love. I love the support, but that's just not sustainable ever. I did that for a year and I had unbelievable support, people showing up, coming, people from high school, people from college came through, the text from people acknowledging what was going on.
Yeah, you definitely rolled deep with you got a good army behind you.
It was great. Yeah. And it is great. And I love anyone who wants to come, I'm more than happy, but it is not sustainable. And it's not sustainable in the podcast world either.
I agree. I don't take it personally if someone doesn't like watch an episode or even, I think there's majority, you'll find this too, like majority of the support comes from people that you don't even know. You'll find that, like, for sure. I think for me, being in the clean eating chick world, that's primarily like, I mean, for the first several years of Cleanse Juices even, it was strangers that were buying juices from me that knew me on Instagram. It was like only recently is it now people that know me that are like, oh, she's consistent with this. This is actually like a real thing. This is her business. Let's support. It comes. Yeah. That's like my experience with it. All right. Last and final, taking it personally question. Yeah. Because I can't believe almost an hour has gone up with you.
Oh, we
could talk all day, honey.
Not all of us are as thrilled, but go on.
Do you take it personally when someone says motherhood is the best thing that's ever happened to me?
I do not take that personally.
Okay.
Because I know somewhere deep inside it's true.
Yes.
What I do take personally is the people who won't be honest and acknowledge the hardships that come with it or the struggles or anyone who judges another mother for being like, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Okay. Fair. Valid.
Yeah. But, it is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Beautiful. Thank you for all the laughs.
Oh my God,
Thank you for all the energy.
High five.
High five.
I love you.
In our same matching outfits.
It's so, it's honestly.
You looked at me when I opened the door and you're like, go home and change.
Yeah, and I wish it worked. But it didn't. But I did want to say thank you so much for having me on. It is so fun to be on this end of things. Yeah. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You are, I thought I was practicing this in my head, what my send-off was going to be, and now I don't remember. Maybe because you're hurrying us up along.
Don't worry about it.
You're like my motivator. Like you are just like an engine that keeps me going when I feel a creative lull. I know I can call you at any time, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Here for you always. Speaking of doing next, what do the people have to look forward to with Taking It Personally? Any stand-up shows coming up? What do we got? How can the people follow you? Where can they stay tuned in?
I actually got invited to my second ever stand-up show that I'm not producing, and it is for my best friend's mother's charity event in Staten Island on June 12th. Ladies' Night. If you want to come support a great cause, come through.
Incredibly blessed.
I'll be roasting a bunch of Staten Island Italian women. I'm sure it's going to go great.
Can't wait.
I have 15 minutes up there to really just either make them laugh or cry. We'll see what happens.
I can't wait to see it.
And a few more episodes for season 2 of Taking It Personally. Follow along at Taking It Personally, at Mishamps.
Beautiful.
But most importantly, buy some juice.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Cheers. I love you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you for being here. Feel good. Enjoy. And we'll see you for another episode
she's spicing up the cheers again. Now I never know what to expect.
I like to keep you on your toes, on the edge of your seat, sister. Okay?
It's growing on me.
Yeah, it's growing on you. Yeah, 21 days. Get ready. Woo, look at her. She's cute. Thank you so much. I love you. Next week, Juice is the New Tea.
Boom!
Exactly that. Juice is the New Tea is brought to you by Cleanse Juices. For more information on 3-day juice cleanses and 4 flavor packs, visit iamcleanse.com. Use code JUICEISTheNewT for 10% off all orders.